What are the biggest issues facing our cities today? Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Our topic today is the National Conference of Democratic Mayors. Here to discuss it with us is its president, Southfield Mayor Brenda Lawrence. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
What exactly is the National Conference of Democratic Mayors? What do you do? What is your mission and goal?
The National Conference of Democratic Mayors are mayors from all over the country, and they're mayors who are Democrats. And what we have come together is to collectively make our voices louder on concerns and issues that we're having in our community. The majority of the larger cities are represented by Democratic mayors, so we have a vast portion of the population in the United States. We are very active in our voice and what our needs are in communities. When it comes to education of children in urban areas, when it comes to the protection of our infrastructure, and voices of mayors that are pretty nonpartisan. But in addition to that, we also are going to be working and having our voice very loud on those issues that are part of the Democratic Party. And we have a Democratic mayor, President Obama, and during the election that's coming up, we're going to be very busy in the field or in the trenches, really working hard to make sure that our message as the Democratic Party is relevant, because as mayors we have our finger on the pulse of the community, and we're going to make sure that we are walking together in this position of leadership in our cities and supporting our president and his endeavors for re-election.
Because you do have your finger on that pulse of the community, what are, I would imagine they're very similar from most major cities to the next, what are the biggest issues and challenges facing our cities today?
Almost every city right now is going through a major crisis financially, trying to fund our cities. Education is very high, the demands of that. Our elderly population, as we all know, the baby boomers are here. And how do we support them, fund them, and build for them? Our infrastructure. The president so wisely brought that up. We're very concerned in older parts of the community. Southfield is 50 years old. But we're very concerned about our infrastructure. How are we going to fund it? Because public safety is the #1 priority in almost every city, fire, police, EMS. And so after you fund that and you take care of the other needs of your community, our roads, the money for infrastructure is drying up. The state is giving us less money. And as a country, as mayors, we really need to make sure that funding for our education, for our infrastructure, and that the federal dollars that support our communities, that they understand the impact of that. So we really need more than just one mayor standing up saying that, and so that's why we come together to have a collective voice.
Do you find that that voice is collective when you get to talking to other mayors? You are all expressing the same concerns?
Oh yes, it's amazing. It's amazing. When we get together, if you bring up infrastructure, everybody goes, oh yeah, and we all start telling our story. If you bring up issues about our workforce and jobs, job creations and industry, and how we're struggling to build our national industry for jobs, it's the same, and we're all are in this financial crisis, and it's something that as a leader you can't just check out on. We have to dig in and try to make it work.
And I would imagine some cities making it work a little better than others, so a good opportunity to share ideas.
Absolutely.
And gain some, if
Yes.
it's working here, maybe it'll work here.
Absolutely. I'll tell you a very interesting story.
Quick one.
Atlanta, who had all the snow. We offered to send our public works people down to teach them how to move snow because they don't know how to move snow.
That's a great example. Great example. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
Today's Comcast Newsmaker was the president of the National Conference of Democratic Mayors, Southfield Mayor Brenda Lawrence.